motion to put them down.
How much is 70 decibels?
I don't know. I
Is that,
was
like,
looking at that
loud?
like.
I don't know what that is.
But that's at the perimeter, right?
Why don't you go Google it?
I don't have Siri with me.
Yeah, that's what's in all the ordinances everywhere, but
In all the noise constraint ordinances.
you know, it's a special tool to monitor it. But
Hearing damage can start at 80,
It can.
depending on the frequency.
I have heard,
That's scary.
I don't want to
what?
name the business, but I have heard trucks make a lot of noise just on the other side of the river there. They are loud on a Sunday, but I don't know what the decibels would be. How do you measure something like that? You have to have a decibel
You have-
meter.
Oh,
Right.
they
Decibel
come
meter.
right out, they got a decimeter, they stand around the perimeter, it's a certain height, and they factor in the air conditions and everything. That's a real standard thing
Put that in your budget.
downtown.
What?
You're gonna have fun with that this year.
What's
I
that?
can check my grinder in the body shop. Let's see what that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I buy the earplugs in 100 plug containers from Northern
Yeah.
Equipment because of the diesel tractor and the diesel go-kart.
I'm all set. I got a few things, but you guys all set?
Yep. I have to leave, fellas. I have to go to a meeting tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for popping in.
Why'd you
Can I ask
bother?
these two? I'm just gonna ask this one question, two-part, real quick. So my only question on this whole thing, this whole proposal, is you got the Lebanon Festival. We're gonna hold them to the exact same standards, you know, which is still a town function. Any town function, you're gonna hold to the same standards. I would assume obviously not pay the fee because that's town money coming in to pay itself. And then what about the use of the transfer station? You know, it's gonna end up being just questions I have.
They're hard to touch base on. Like, here's a good example. I mean, the Lebanon Festival's one, but take the extreme, like they had the 500 or more gathering. Okay, they're hiring this private contractor who's utilizing the town's facilities.
No, I get that. Yeah.
But again, like the festival, how do you measure that? You know, is it 5 bags? Is it?
Right. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's going to end up coming out of taxpayers are making an appropriation. Of course, they do have raised funds because they have the vendor spaces. So,
Right.
just so we're clear, because
Yeah.
I know for a fact that question will come up when this is being reviewed, and not from
So,
About the
festival
town,
people either. It's just going to be.
the town event using the town transfer station.
so it should be in here that can't be.
I-
As little as it is, or as big as it is, it can't be. You can't utilize
Right, should be,
I just wanna throw it on.
taxpayers.
yeah,
money
they should
to
have
do
an
that.
exemption from it in other
Yeah.
words.
Either be exempt or not, just so they're clear and everybody else
Private
in the town's
contractor.
You
clear.
mean that- So, specifically in, what is it, section C? You see that, right? Section C,
On page 2.
I'm sorry, section 4, subsection C.
Yeah, saw that. That's where my question
So
came.
what are you
So we
proposing for
had
change?
maybe, well, I'm just asking because I know the last 2 years has been so small. It had maybe 8 bags or something like that went up there to the transfer station from the festival, the Lebanon Festival. So my question before the board is the intention to also make the Lebanon Festival, which is a town event, follow these exact same rules, which I have no problem with, you know, porta potties and whatever. I mean, that's obviously reasonable. But are we going to make them
For one, you gotta do it
pay
for
the
them all.
fee? Are we going to make them do, you know, this is the town function?
In my mind, maybe I'm wrong, but in my mind, making the town pay at the transfer station is the same as making them pay for a permit.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. That's why I got
Right.
both of them on my question.
So maybe you need to add another line or something
So
here.
you,
Show that the town has an exemption.
is that what you're asking for?
No, I'm just raising the question. My wife's
I
the
would.
chair, so I'm not
Like
asking. I'm asking the
Boy
question.
Scouts. It's sort of, they can, get rid of this stuff. There's a limit.
I can do a non-profit waiver clause.
No, I'm just curious because
Like
it's
a
tax.
bona
It's
fide
raised funds
nonprofit.
from the taxpayer that's going to pay for this. I mean, they do have vendor money coming in as well. So because you're going to get these questions, because I know we did when we tried to revamp the mass gathering.
Are you talking who has vendor money coming in the town, as well as these
The
private?
festival committee, which is all
Okay.
town money that's going through the coffers here,
Yeah,
into a fund. So,
it gets
but, that's vendor money. That's not tax appropriated money.
right.
But you have a tax appropriation for the festival now, that passed this past year, $1,500. So I'm just asking, because this is where I need some clarification on that.
When you treat it like a business,
I'm good either way, but I think it just needs to be clear what we're
Yeah.
doing.
Can I ask, why don't you just put one sentence in there that says town and civic organizations have to fill out the permit and have to abide by the same laws, but that they can be waived by fees on the decision of the Board of Selectmen. That's fairly easy, straightforward, and
I think that opens a door to a lot of issues later on down the road.
yeah, that's a
Right.
good point. Boy, I'll tell you what a can of worms that could be.
what if they give it to the Boy Scouts and not the Girl Scouts or something? I mean, just give it to them.
Well, like I said, I could put a exception of fees for a bona fide
You got
nonprofit.
the 250th coming up for the town, so I mean that's going to be hopefully a big event. You never know, how things pan out. But the festival's getting a little bigger the last 2 years. You got to go, so go
Yeah, I
ahead.
do.
But
Thanks, Mike.
Folks, you're welcome.
Night, Mike.
the festival's getting a little bit bigger, the last couple of years, and more people understanding that it's going on and whatever. But if we do the 250th, hopefully we get a good turnout. That, you wouldn't want to plug up the transfer station with. You could see a lot of trash from that, so they'd have to get a container from Waste Management or something like that. But I'm just curious because, then it's going to dwindle down after you hit that the 251. I don't know, but it could. You got 8 bags. Are we gonna say, hey, you need to get a, small container, open top, to have Waste Management come over and haul it away, or whoever? I'm just curious. Either way, but it needs to be clear in here. Town functions are not exempt, or they are. There's one thing to think about. Okay, so all my points are.
So you do.
Charity thing.
See, that to me gets into something too funky, Charity's not the same as town, so
No.
so that's why I'm just curious.
And just make it very.
Most charities are of a nature such you can't favor them anyway. Directly or indirectly.
Yeah, but if you're talking about the Boy Scouts, they're not normally going to have an.
So I have section
Thing for 250
3A,
people.
also just little things that you have here, just nitpicking. But font size is different than the other.
I know. I saw that just
Okay.
now.
Uh,
I was like, what?
Section 3E says off-street parking facilities shall be furnished with at least one car space. Probably should be one vehicle space, so we allow pickup trucks.
Okay. I don't like pickup trucks. Just kidding.
Section 4, subsection B, second line, landowner to use the property and shall furnish proof that you need to get rid of the A, that the provided neighbor for notification. From that, I mean,
Good
that's
call. Good call.
just little typo things. Other than that, looks good.
Okay, so back to subsection C. I need you guys to make a decision on that. Do you want, because that last line,
Throw it to board, to the board for discussion. That's what I brought it up for. Was it's not all taxpayer money that they have, so I just want to make sure it's clear. That's all.
and this was a question because this was kind of just thrown out last time and I typed it to what
Sure.
I could come up with. So this last line, you know, who even determines that reasonable cost?
Section 1, section 4.
I'm for subsection C.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to remove this, or do you want me to add, you know, only the town will be exempt from such payment, or that a bona fide nonprofit could be exempt, so long as they provide proof?
Well, if they were approved ahead of time, yeah. But the town should be, and you're saying, you're talking two different things here.
Yeah, I just don't, I don't know what you
I would
want
say
to do.
definitely exempt the town. If
Okay.
it's something we're already paying for, then.
Yeah,
I would say exempt the town only from the fee
Right.
and use of the transfer station.
right,
I
Right.
like the idea of still having it laid out,
Right, 'cause we gotta be able to.
communication with Mike and Chief, and
right.
can be a little more formal.
And nonprofits, if pre-approved
Can I get a
By-
vote on that
by
one?
the selectmen on that one.
Can I get a vote on that?
That means we get inundated with nonprofits wanting to.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time with that one. I don't know. I can't think of any instance, but what can of worms are we opening up
Right.
where you're gonna hit that 250 people? My only thing with the town is because the town's paying
Right,
transfer to get rid of the stuff out of the transfer station anyway, so you're gonna make the town pay to pay.
To pay,
Some
to pay to
gonna
get
cost you
something we're
more to
already
get a
paying for.
dumpster.
We'll pay twice.
Yeah,
The
and
town's
so
paying
it doesn't make
twice.
any sense that way.
Yeah.
But the nonprofits, I'm not on board with that.
now my question, is this last line of that section agreeable? Cause who's going to, I mean, I assume that will be Ronald, cause he's transfer station.
Right, usually.
But do you want, I mean, how do you wanna determine that reasonable cost? Cause that's probably gonna be a thing as well.
Aren't you gonna do a fee schedule anyway? A separate fee schedule anyway?
We do have I did send the ballot to the, hopefully we will, I guess, is how we answer that. Hopefully we will have a fee schedule, yeah, if it gets approved by the town, yes. So that would be something that we could, if that's gonna be on a fee schedule, I need to put the verbiage in the ordinance. Right now, all it says is a reasonable cost will be charged at the time of disposal if such waste is disposed of at the transfer station.
Well, your supervisor at the transfer station handles anything that's comes in that's a special size of, or as a good example, or say somebody brought in a big load of demolition, something that's out of the normal. We usually they always do get charged more for something like that.
The
Or
only
something,
thing that,
something that requires that's out of what it normally
Right.
comes in the gate.
and the only thing that worries me about that is somebody crying wolf,
You know.
that it wasn't fair. So, you know, we just need to be aware.
Okay, so
If we
how are you
leave
gonna
that-
set the fee on it then? How are you gonna
I don't know, you
determine
guys
what's,
would,
yeah,
and you probably would sit with Ronald
it's
and, so you want that gone.
Yep.
Do you not even want transfer station to be an option aside from the town?
Correct.
Okay. And then I'll just get rid of this.
So they would all have to have outside dumpster?
Correct.
And
that's-
and I'll put an exemption
be
for the
probably
town of just the permit fee and the transfer station use. But everything else they have to comply with as well.
Yep. It's gonna be tough because you couldn't even say, you know, with a limit of 5 bags or something like, or 8 bags or under 10.
'Cause
Because
then
you
you
give an
get
inch, you take a mile, and it's just
stuffed,
no way
you
to.
know, you get 5 stuffed bags. Not saying that anyone would do that, but it could happen.
Which break open on the way to the transfer
Because even in the
station.
situation, let's just say with a, you know, you get the 250th of the town, you know, let's say, we don't know what's gonna happen, but let's say you're occupying all 3 of these properties here, you know, and there's a lot of stuff going on, there's a lot of trash being generated. We can look ahead, we know that's coming up, we can say, hey, get an extra 40-foot open
Right.
top up there, you know, which is gonna cost us as a town a lot less, because instead of clogging up the compactors, it just goes there. And that's festival stuff, we know it's gonna be
And
gone,
that's
you know.
different than being bombarded when you have no idea what's coming.
Exactly.
They might even move waste management, you can contact them first, and they might even bring in a special compactor.
My other final question on this, I guess, is it's very similar to the mass gathering. There are some differences that have been brought to our attention by residents, such as the noise constraints, which is what you had read that letter, Ben.
Yep.
A 30-day application period gives Mike time to, you know, if he has people are waiting for building inspections, and then he has to jump on this mass gathering. That's not right for taxpayers. So there are some differences. I don't know if you want to combine this. Essentially make this our mass gathering ordinance by inserting a repealer clause or not.
I'd say right now, see if we can get this in.
Okay.
That'd be step 1, because I know I've fought that battle twice already. Once willingly, once not so willingly. And the mass gathering takes a hit both times. And I think you're setting yourself up for failure to replace it. So put this in place first, and then we can go and say, hey, you know, this is working, and then probably repeal it.
Right, like a trial and error.
Yeah.
That's a good call. I agree.
Don't have to.
So you just want me to leave?
Give it
don't
to the
you?
voters,
Yeah.
up to them.
Okay, so somewhere in all my pile of stuff here. Yeah, here. I see we have a proposed referendum sheet.
Are you gonna look at that? That'd
Yeah,
be cool.
we need to, yes.
Oh, are you kicking me out, or are you
No,
making me wait
we
for
need
that?
to, no, we need to do this, and we have somebody coming in at 5:15.
Oh, like now?
Yep, and she's here.
Okay. So the first 2 are the ones I'm assuming that Gary and the planning board proposed,
When do we have to have an answer on this, Pied?
like yesterday.
That's what I figured. Okay.
Then
I
you
don't think-
have
They're gonna be too long on the 5:15. Do we want to, can you stay later?
I'm here. It's 5:15.
But I know, but if I took them,
Well, there was something I was supposed to print for you anyway, so.
do we wanna pay her overtime, or do we wanna, I'm looking at, it's gonna be overtime, cause with so much going on in the office right now, it would be,
The next
it'd be
2
awful hard to
weeks,
comp it out.
potentially.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Bring her right back in here at 5:30. Let's finish this thing up.
Okay.
Does that work? Okay.
I'll take my giant book with me.